apparently wanting to make sure that people who came to your country did so legally was racist. As someone who did come to this country...
Oh my God. See, this is what I'm talking about. Once again, show me any video where Obama, Clinton, Joe Biden, Harris, anyone credible, not some weirdo on TikTok, not some crazy person on YouTube, someone that has some pulling power that says, I just want everyone to come to America. Just open the borders. Don't worry about checking nothing. Blah, 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 blah. Who? When has that been said? All right, so I'm not really well versed when it comes to every single, YouTube individual that talks about politics and this. Like, some people are going to be new to me, and you probably already know them. You know what I'm saying? But this guy right here, you know what I'm saying? I just started really seeing him for the past month. Okay, so my perspective on him might be a little different from yours, but hear me out, okay? He came out with a video titled "Fine, Call Me Right Wing." Okay, I clicked on it. Hey, you clickbait me, I clicked on it. Okay, you win. So, and after listening to it to about 2-3 times, trust me, it's an 9-minute video, but I listened to it like 2-3 times, and I come to the conclusion is this guy right here is a grifter. This guy right here is an opportunist. And I came up with 3 points to how you can identify a grifter. And not just because he's, a Republican or right wing or whatever, it's the things that you say that throws up red flags. That got me questioning, what is your motives? Like, are you really, morally and policy wise, based off what you believe, your perspectives and your opinions, that makes you conservative, Republican, whatever? That's not the issue. It's what you're saying is the issue. So here's my, simple 3 points of why I would consider someone a grifter. Point number 1. They adopt political positions without presenting well-reasoned policies or solutions, relying instead of vague rhetoric or emotional appeals. Point 2, their arguments are often centered around culturally charged topics, employing catchphrases or slogans that lack tangible meaning or depth. And point 3, they align themselves with divisive individuals regarding or excusing those individuals' documented flaws such as racism, bigotry, or forms of misconduct to gain attention or amplify their platform. What we're about to listen to hits every 3 of those points to a T. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing of substance he is talking about. He's not talking about like real in-depth policies, that affect the common person. No, it's catchphrases. It's a bunch of, vague rhetoric that we hear from like a Ben Shapiro or a Matt Walsh. Nothing that is really important, just to charge up people emotionally and take their money. So let's go ahead, without further ado, take a listen.
Fine, call me right wing. For years, I've aggressively rejected the label of conservative and right wing, not only because it was being used as a smear in elite discourse, but also because it doesn't accurately reflect how I think. My political journey is best summarized by this.
So I've seen this graph here, and I really only seen this when Elon Musk posted this. But this right here, you can easily create something like this that benefits your argument. This is not statistics. This is not proof of anything. This is someone's perspective on whatever they think conservative and, liberals, blah, blah, blah. So this isn't proof of anything. This is just a meme that Elon seen on Twitter and he reposted it. So I don't really understand what this is supposed to prove, but okay, it's cute. Got you. Okay.
Cartoon from my friend Colin Wright at Reality's Last Stand. That said, being right-wing was never a term of insult to me because it has never occurred to me that half of every country in the world is evil. What, we should demonize anyone who's on the right? Really? How can...
So once again, to answer your question, slow down. We're not deeming everybody who's on the right in every single country. But unfortunately, here in America, a lot of evil, hateful people call themselves Republican. I mean, even David Duke himself doesn't call himself a liberal, doesn't call himself a progressive. He calls himself a conservative, a Republican, and he supports Donald Trump. So I'm not saying like that individual represents Donald Trump, because Trump, trust me, Trump has said crazy things I can hold him accountable for. So, but I'm just saying, if someone like a David Duke is supporting your campaign, maybe, just maybe, you need to reevaluate what you're saying, what you're promoting out there, whatever rhetoric that you're spilling out there. You might want to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? If I knew that my channel was being supported by, I don't know, Nazi groups, for whatever reason, if I noticed that they are highly supporting me, I would want to double check myself. Like, hey, this is not what that platform is about. Maybe I need to reevaluate some things. So it's not that we just say, hey, you're on the right side of the, political, conversation. You're evil. No. Once again, lacking substance in what he's saying here.
Carefully, have you thought about this? How many woke people do you really think there are in the US Marine Corps or in the British SAS? Well,
once again, woke. These weird catchphrases. Woke doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean something. It's whatever you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? Woke means whatever you want it to be. That's not a political conversation to have. That definition can change within a conversation. I've heard hundreds of people use that word in different ways. It doesn't mean anything. It can mean something different to me than it is to you. So that's not anything to me. So there you go.
We're going to pretend that the men and women who defend our country have nothing to offer it when it comes to values, mindset, and worldview. And yet the consensus opinion in the barracks is the worst possible opinion you can have if your job is to tell people what to think on TV every night. Really? You know which other professions lean right? Engineers, farmers, business owners. The people who build the buildings we live in, grow the food we eat, and create jobs for most of us.
But guess who's more progressive? Which, once again, a lot of that isn't true, but just based off his analysis there, because he didn't show any statistics or data to back that up, but whatever. What about the people that work these jobs? I think there's more employees than there is CEOs. And a lot of these employees, let me pull up my facts here, or I mentioned these statistics in another video, and I have it here. 63% of Americans want free healthcare. They believe that the government should be providing that for its citizens. 63% of Americans. Oh, okay, that's a little weird. 69% of Americans believe that abortion should be a choice. I don't see the Republican Party claiming that. 76% of Americans believe raising the minimum wage. Once again, I don't know. I mean, these stats, these statistics are kind of saying some things here. 71% of Democrats and 50% of Republicans do support taxing individuals who make more than $50 million a year. I don't know. I mean, compared to whatever bullshit that he's just cited with no statistics, no credible sources backing that up, compared to information that is available for everyone to see. Once again, you're sounding like an opportunist to me, but this is only a minute and 16 seconds in. Let's see what he says.
They have nothing to offer? Surgeons, to whom we pay a lot of money because we entrust them with cutting our loved ones open with a knife in order to save their lives, they have nothing of value to offer our society? Really? I never thought of the term right-wing as an insult because I didn't regard being right-wing as a bad thing. That's also how I have always thought about the left. Both sides of the political spectrum have valuable instincts that need to be incorporated into our public policy to create a harmonious society, right? How naive I was. As my profile began to grow, so did the questions of, but are you right-wing though? I quickly deduced from the tone and body language that the question wasn't exactly being posed with an open-minded curiosity. This was a trap designed to give the listener an excuse to ignore what I was saying. All I had to do was confess my right-wingness, and everything I did and said would suddenly become tainted. Ooh, right-wing. This started with free speech, of course. This value, which the left had fought for most of my adult life, was suddenly, to my great surprise, a right-wing talking point.
Okay.
I wonder...
Once again, that is Republicans, those who control the conversation, like an Elon Musk, Trump, of course, Fox News, those type of individuals, Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Matt Walsh, they will force people to believe, for whatever reason, that Democrats wants to take away freedoms, wants to take away your freedom of speech. Did that happen during Joe Biden's 4 years? Did that happen under Obama's 8 years? This has been an ongoing an ongoing fear-mongering conversation. Oh, the Democrats are going to take away your guns. Well, tell me what legislation did Trump pass that banned bump stocks? Okay, but Democrats want to. How did Joe Biden go about doing that? Exactly. So it's just weird. Like, once again, liberals want to take away your freedom of speech. I haven't seen that yet, but let them continue.
I wonder what comedian George Carlin, a hero of mine, who spent most of his career mocking religious conservatives, would make of this, given that he had himself arrested under obscenity laws in 1972 for performing a routine called 7 words you can never say on television. Then I discovered that being patriotic was right-wing. When I used to do stand-up, I'd often joke that I love this country and I say so publicly, which is how you know I haven't integrated. It always got what comedians proudly call laughter of recognition in woke comedy clubs up and down Britain. But I do love this country. I want the country I raise my children in and the civilization it's part of to be good.
Okay, so once again, I don't understand why the Republican Party feel like they can claim the right of what patriotic looks like. I'm a progressive. I'm a black man. I know my history. I know history of America. I love my country. And I want this country, just like my ancestors, to continuously improve for the sake of the citizens. There you go. Does that make me right-wing? No. It makes me an individual that loves this country, but also understands the history and wants to see it continue to progress for the sake of Americans. That's pretty simple. Once again, Republicans don't own patriotic. They don't own what that means. But for whatever reason, we allowed them to continue the conversation of what that means. And that's unfortunate, because now that means you're a conservative? No, don't think so.
And I recognize that it is good. Not because I think it's perfect, but because I've experienced the alternative. And then there was immigration. The position which had always been held by all sane people everywhere suddenly became controversial. Apparently, wanting to make sure that people who came to your country did so legally was racist. As someone who did come to this country...
Oh my God. See, this is what I'm talking about. Once again, show me any video where Obama, Clinton, Joe Biden, Harris, anyone credible, not some weirdo on TikTok, not some crazy person on YouTube, someone that has some pulling power that says, I just want everyone to come to America. Just open the borders. Don't worry about checking nothing. Blah, 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 blah. Who? When has that been said? Don't worry, I'll wait. Exactly. That's my point. It's not being said. But once again, the Republican Party they're amazing. they're not amazing at much, but they're amazing at making these straw man arguments, and people like this will just believe it. Oh, the Democratic Party just wants open borders. They don't want to vet. They don't want to check the background of any immigrant. You just let them right in. What? What are you talking about? That's that shit right there I'm talking about. Like you can't conversate with people like that if they just believe the weirdest things. Then you got to spend most of your time arguing points that you don't even have. But we're halfway there, guys. Let's continue.
Illegally. That's just insane. Countries need borders. This isn't controversial, but now it is right-wing. Over time, I became increasingly defensive when people asked me whether I was on the right. But after spending 2 weeks on each side of the election in the United States, I just don't care anymore. I was at the Trump event in Madison Square Garden, which was roundly described as a Nazi rally. I did not go there with my MAGA hat and pom-poms. I went there to see it with my own eyes as an independent journalist. You've probably read or watched my satirical take on what I saw there. But in all seriousness, the gap between the media lies and reality was too big for me to leave the event unchanged. What affected me most was not what I saw, it was what I didn't see. I didn't see racism. Well, an edgy comedian made some jokes and the media said he made racist remarks. But there was no actual racism. I didn't see an angry mob.
So going back to, and I did a video and that was like weeks ago. I done created 50 videos since then. But what people had an issue with that comedian was when you're at an event like a Trump rally and you're making those types of jokes, and following right behind are people that have been known to make racist statements, it just kind of the wrong place at the wrong time type of situation. You can make jokes. I've listened to plenty of comedians that will make racist type or race-based type jokes that were funny. Comedians do it all the time. That's not the issue. The issue is being in that place at that time, being with the Republican Party that have Trump himself calling places shithole countries, and why can't we get immigrants from Norway type of conversations. If you're being in the same environment and in a place like that, and you're making, Puerto Rico is a trash country, well, I'm sorry if people kind of lump you in with those kind of people. Once again, I understand, comedians need to kind of be a little edgy. I get that. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's not. But if you're in that environment and you're making those kind of jokes, don't get mad at people if they point the finger at you too and say that you're racist. It's kind of like you got to be a little smarter than that, okay?
To my British eye, it looked more like a WWE event. Political entertainment. The people who were there didn't agree with the comedian's racist comments. It's just that, unlike journalists, they know the difference between comments and jokes. I saw none of what I'd been promised, and that was eye-opening. It's difficult to communicate what this is like to someone who hasn't experienced it, but the nearest I can get to it is this photograph. Look at it. Does the man in the middle look like he thinks the man on the left is a Nazi whose supporters are garbage? And yet...
Okay. What? Okay. All right. So, like I said in a previous video, when I talked about Joe Biden inviting Donald Trump to the White House to start the transfer of power, as they say, okay? it is Joe Biden's job, and not really just his job. It's really any president's job, but Trump seems to not understand that. But no matter what you feel or how you feel about whoever is going to be taking that seat after you, you have a job to make sure, like, this is how democracies work, is to make sure the peaceful transfer of power. If for whatever shape or reason that you feel like, he shouldn't be president and, blah, blah, then you start to create issues. And that's exactly what Trump did. But one thing that I commend Biden for doing is not following what Trump has already done. Like Trump can, or Biden can feel any way he wants about Trump, but if he lost the election, which he did, you need to step down. Like, maybe he didn't need to invite him over. Like, I don't know what processes are happening during that moment. Maybe it's something important. Then yeah, you need to have him over. But if Joe Biden is inviting Trump to dinner and just, kicking back, sipping lattes, then that's a questionable thing. But to start the legal process of transferring power, that needs to happen. And it's the job of media to continue to say, hey, Trump is a fascist. I believe that, and I'm going to continue to say that. But that's not the president's job, is to prevent him from becoming president. No, that's not what we're asking Joe Biden to do. So that picture doesn't prove anything.
Yeah, that is exactly what he said a week before the election. My point is, the media lies weren't exaggerations. They were just lies. And seeing is believing. But most of all, what
okay, so and once again, I did plenty of videos talking about what a fascist is, how that's a progress. It's not a destination. You don't become a fascist. It's a continuous thing. And I've already went over what's a fascist and how Donald Trump somehow, some way easily checks off each box, which is the scary part. You know what I'm saying? I didn't warp the word of what a fascist is, just looked it up. What's the characteristics, did some reading, and it's weird that Trump kind of checks those boxes. And it doesn't help that his own vice president, before he became his vice president, literally called him Hitler. Not saying like he's Hitler type or he's Hitler-ish. He literally said that he's Hitler. But no, he doesn't want to point that out. Like, hey, this is kind of weird that his own party kind of called him Hitler. His own people that he hired during his first administration said, hey, this dude got some weird like dictator type energy. Okay, we had to kind of manage that when I was with him in these offices, in these conversations, in these meetings. So it's not just one side calling him a dictator or Hitler. No. So, but once again, none of that matters to this guy.
So in America was choice. You could vote for more of the same, or you could vote for someone who would come in and actually
hold on.
Seeing is believing. But most of all, what I saw in America was choice. You could vote for more of the same, or you could vote for someone who would come in and actually do something.
Okay. Question. What did Trump do for the American people his first term that was so amazing that lost him in 2020? Did we forget that Trump lost in 2020? He became president 2016, ran again and lost. Why? Why do you think that? And you think he's going to all of a sudden magically do something different here? I guarantee you the first thing he does is tax cuts. And how is he going to do that? By chipping away Medicaid and chipping away Social Security, just like Republicans always been wanting to do. So once again, sorry to burst your bubble here, he's going to do the same thing that Republicans have always been known to do or want to do. Trump is not going to shake things up because he didn't do that his first term. I'm sorry, that's not how that works.
Unlike the British Conservative Party, which spent 14 years being woke before limping out of office, handing an even more woke Labour Party a gigantic parliamentary majority, The American right isn't messing around. You may hate Trump's appointees, but you can't argue they don't represent a break from business as usual. You think the military is going to be woke under former Army National Guard officer Pete Heck?
You mean a TV star? So you're telling me he's the only one that served in the military that's qualified? I mean, last time I checked, he's not the Army himself. He's not the military himself. So you're telling me it had to be a TV star. And trust me, there's others like that he chose to be in his cabinet that are TV personalities. So it's not just him. It seems to be a common denominator within the people he chose. I'm just saying, and there's a lot of people who know him and know what it takes to fill that position that say he's underqualified. It's not coming from me, someone who's just on YouTube. People who know that position and know who he is, know his experience and his background, that are saying he is unqualified. And these are Republicans, which is the weird part. I mean, wow, I thought it'd just be Democrats. But okay, whatever.
Except, how do you think DEI is going to fare under Elon and Vivek?
DEI with this guy? Are we talking about the guy who Trump is telling this guy and Vivek to come in and cut government waste? But this guy used billions of dollars from government subsidies for his own businesses. The richest man in the world is using government subsidies. Don't we frown upon and talk bad about people who are on food stamps that don't really need it, but they're getting it still? Don't we kind of frown upon people like that? But no, the richest man in the world, hear me, the richest man in the world is using government subsidies. But we're putting him in charge. Oh my God, it's common sense. At least I thought. But
do you think Tom Homan, former acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, is going to keep the border open?
The border is, I swear, oh my God, why do you keep saying the border is open? I don't want to call you an idiot. Like Jesus is working on me, okay? I'm trying to become a better person, okay? I am trying, okay? But stupid comments like that doesn't help. Nobody is saying, Kamala Harris was on camera telling immigrants on camera saying, hey, do not come here. Obama, known as the deporter in chief. Why do you think that? You think he got that title for keeping the borders open? And who was his vice president? Joe Biden? But you're telling me with a straight face, okay, that Democrats want an open border, even though they tried to pass a bill that would assist, I wouldn't say solve, but it is doing better than nothing when it comes to immigration. But Republicans turned, after helping create the bill, Trump gave a call, and then they turned their backs on it. So you're telling me the Democrats want the border open? That's your final answer. Okay, got you.
Trump's appeal is not that he's a steady hand who will maintain the country's stable and positive trajectory. It's that he represents an opportunity to avert disaster. And the truth is, as I've been warning for some time, that is exactly what the West is on course for if we don't change direction. I didn't know how exactly I'd feel when Trump was elected. Turns out I was relieved. This is not incompatible with being a centrist or a radical moderate or an independent. But the luxury of nuance lasts only until the day of the election, the one day that actually matters. The world of many shades of grey becomes black and white inside the voting booth. So I will maintain my intellectual independence. I'm too disagreeable not to. But after what the Democrats tried to pass off as presidential material in the last election, and the way that Starmer's government is about to nosedive the British economy, It's time to acknowledge that the left is asking all the wrong questions and has none of the answers. As journalist Josh Barrow hilariously observed 2 weeks ago, the Democrats were the party which committed itself to transgender surgeries for illegal aliens and then failed to actually perform any.
That's that bullshit right there. That is literally the bullshit. Okay? Once again, if you do, just do a little reading, okay? I promise you a little reading will take you far in life, okay? Don't just believe what idiots say to you, because then you're gonna be like this guy, okay? Don't be stupid like this. Oh, okay, no. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you stupid, okay? You just don't know better, okay? You've been tricked. You've been duped, okay? The whole thing with the trans and illegal immigrants, that has been in law way before Harris, way before Trump, way before Obama, okay? Like, that is not something that Harris just thought of and said, I want to trans every immigrant that comes into the country, or whatever people are saying. That is not true. Like, did she suck at trying to explain that? Yes. But to believe that shows how intellectually lazy you are. But we're almost done, okay? I just need to breathe, okay? We are almost done, okay?
If opposing this insanity makes me right-wing, so be it. Ultimately, the choice is between civilization and people who think men can give birth. Everything else is fluff.
Oh my God, who cares? I personally, hey, guess what? I don't care what people say when it comes to can men give birth. I have so many other things I need to be worried about. I don't care. You should not care. That should not dictate who you vote for. Did Harris ever say, I believe men can give birth and I'm all for men giving birth? No, she didn't. But once again, we're taking whatever crazy stuff you hear on the internet, whatever you hear on TikTok, and if they call themselves the Democrat, you be like, see, that's what the Democrats want, is to get every man pregnant. like my guy, you need to do better. Okay? Hey, hit me up if you need somebody to tutor you. You know what I'm saying? To give you some books, to push you into reading for yourself. But okay, whatever. I don't know.
If you enjoy these videos, remember they're available on my Substack.
Holy shit, man. Don't really care. Okay. Hey guys. Okay. I think I did a pretty good job with keeping my composure during stuff like this. Okay. What we need to understand is there is money when it comes to politics. Okay. There is money. And unfortunately, people don't care about facts. People don't care about creating solutions, because trust me, it is boring. It is not fun. It is not sexy. It's not what's going to get you clicks. It's not what's going to get you views. It's not what's going to get people to support you. I get that. I've been doing this 2 years. I guarantee you, hands down, like 630, if I was to flip, be an opportunist, and be a Republican, whatever that means, I will make money. And I see it all the time on YouTube. People that don't know not a motherfucking thing will sit here, say some shit for 4 or 5 minutes and get millions of views. Won't say not a substantive fucking word and make millions off of it. I see it all the time. But me, hey, I'm reading books. I'm reading articles. I'm trying to fucking learn some things and get nothing. But fortunately, I don't do this for the money. I just do this because there's too many fucking idiots in this world, and I need to do at least my part, okay? To at least try to educate people, bring together people that actually do care. And if that's the little bit that I can do, then fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, I find some joy doing this. But this shit right here, I mean, this stuff right here is not going to work. If you just want to be a Republican, bro, just say it with your chest. Don't sit here and say, oh, I blame it because of woke. I blame it because of because someone on TikTok hurt my feelings. No, bro. Don't do that. You look soft. Don't make no excuses. Just say, hey, I want to be a Republican. Hey, that's where the money's at. You know, but don't come up with these whack ass excuses. Oh, people were just, are you blah, blah. Like, no, it doesn't work. Just say it with your chest, stand on business, and say what you want to say. That's simple. But once again, hey, how you doing? If you agree or disagree with anything I said in this video, let me know in the comments down below, or hit that Discord link so me and you can have that one-on-one talk. And like always, let's have that conversation.